Hello and welcome to the Binge List, in which I handpick the best films and shows for you to watch. One of the big releases in February is going to be the second season of the Amazon original, The Family Man, which makes this the perfect time to catch season 1 of the series created by directors Raj and DK. The Family Man was one of the most successful series of 2019. The narrative seamlessly blends a spy thriller with family drama. In their 2017 film A Gentleman, Raj and DK attempted something similar, combining a high-octane spy thriller with comedy. But the story was too thin to hold. I think failure taught them well because The Family Man, a 10-part series, is riveting. Manoj Bajpayee plays Srikanth Tiwari, a middle-class government employee who is crushed between the demands of his job and the demands of his family. His relationship with his 2 children is loving but difficult. They don't understand why he can't buy a better car. As he says in one episode, they consider him a loser. His wife Suchi is also juggling career, children, and her largely absent husband. Srikanth always seems distracted and he's always on call. What they don't know is that Srikanth is a highly regarded intelligence officer. He works at TASC, a covert national security agency. In between buying vegetables and dealing with his daughter's issues at school, he is chasing terrorists and trying to foil nefarious plots to destabilize the nation. Raj and DK mind the contrast between Srikanth's seemingly ordinary life and his extraordinary job for humor. This is a man who wields a gun, but he's also worried that his wife might be getting too close to one of her colleagues. In one of my favorite scenes, Srikanth and his colleague J.K. Talpade, played by the excellent Sharib Hashmi, are trying to interpret the emojis on Suchi's phone and what degree of intimacy they suggest. The writing by Raj, DK, Sumit Arora and Suman Kumar is first-rate. The series is peppered by sharp observations and quotable dialogue. In the first episode, Talpade explains to a new colleague how they capture chatter and listen into conversations everywhere. He says, privacy is a myth, just like democracy. The closing credits of the series tells us that it's been inspired by newspaper headlines. Aside from a few slightly outlandish moments, the series stays in the realm of what could happen. Srikanth is no James Bond. What unfolds here is realistic, which makes it frightening. Raj and DK are too sophisticated as storytellers to operate in black and white. Instead, they show us how violence perpetuates violence. The terrorists that Srikanth is attempting to foil aren't straight-up villains. They too have their backstory, which tells us why they became cold-blooded killers. A part of the series is set in Srinagar, but here too there's no easy jingoism. A character explains that it's impossible to know who's wrong and who's right. The Family Man tells us that it's easy to be a chest-thumping nationalist, but much harder to be a patriot like Srikanth. The series would have collapsed if Manoj was a lesser actor, but he embodies every nuance of Srikanth. His heroism, his ordinariness, his angst and his courage. I can't wait to see what happens in season 2. You can watch The Family Man on Amazon Prime Video. My next pick is a twisty courtroom drama on ZEE5 called Nail Polish. First, can we just take a minute to consider the late career choices of Arjun Rampal? The handsome actor couldn't find his place in the leading man pantheon, but as his beauty frays, his roles have become less wholesome and more interesting. Think of D-Day, Daddy, and now Nail Polish. Here he plays a lawyer, Siddharth Jaisingh, who has daddy issues. Sid, as he introduces himself, is hired to defend Veer Singh, a lauded ex-intelligence officer who may or may not have sexually assaulted and murdered 2 children. The case, which Sid takes on to curry favor with a political party, becomes more twisted and bewildering than he had imagined. The film is the directorial debut of ad man and actor Bugs Bhargava Krishna. You might recognize him as the imperious Professor Mishra from A Suitable Boy. Krishna has also written the story, which detours into unexpected places before arriving at an intriguing conclusion. The film packs in a lot. Apart from pedophilia, there's a mental health disorder, a love angle, amnesia, alcoholism, hypnosis, and of course, like I said before, courtroom drama. The judge's personal life is also a prominent subplot. In places, the tone of the film becomes lurid. Some scenes come off as flat-out silly. Krishna even bungs in an unnecessary love song. But through it all, he manages to keep you watching. Nail Polish also benefits from Manav Kaul's skillful performance as Veer Singh. Through his long career, Manav has successfully avoided slotting. He's effortlessly convincing as a good guy. Remember the supportive husband Ashok in Tumhari Sullu? But when the role requires, he conjures menace like a magician. As Veer, he runs the full gamut of expressions. Manav anchors the more outlandish aspects of the story so that nail polish stays on track. You can watch the film on ZEE5. Imagine a place where winter means 4 months of absolute darkness. The sun sets in April and comes back only in August. Where the wind chill can produce temperatures of minus 80 degrees. Where one of the things you need to watch out for is to not mix your water bottle with your pee bottle. This place exists. And as I watched the documentary Antarctica: A Year on Ice, I kept thinking, what kind of people choose to live here? Director, writer, DOP Anthony Powell provides an answer. Powell is from New Zealand, but he spent most of his adult life working in Antarctica. It took him 10 years to make this film. He becomes our point of entry into this vast frozen continent. He immerses us into its seasonal rhythms and into the details of living in such extreme conditions. The landscape, which in places resembles a Star Wars planet, is so striking that by the end I had some idea of what makes people head there. Powell also makes a persuasive case for the beauty of solitude. To live in Antarctica is to truly understand your tiny, largely insignificant place in the universe. Since most of us won't embark on this adventure, the documentary is the next best thing. What fascinated me most was the resilience on display here. The continent is larger than the USA, but in the summer only about 5,000 people live here, and in the winter the number drops to less than 700. These people live on bases set up by various countries. Out here on the vast ice, there's minimal geopolitical tension. Perhaps when so few human beings are up against such harsh conditions, it's best to get along. People create their own rituals to survive, like a homegrown film festival or a competition that requires participants to jump into freezing water. Powell's team members speak about their coping mechanisms, how their brain starts to fog up in the long winter, and also why they keep coming back. The environment provides an answer. It's like being on a remote planet where nature and not humanity is the supreme being. The howling winds in winter, the vast emptiness, and the blocks of ice that stand silently is a humbling reminder of your own insignificance. Powell uses time-lapse photography a little too often to capture the various facets of the place. He also reminds us that nature is brutal. In one scene, a lost seal is trying to make her way home. Powell can film it, but he can't rescue the animal because they can't interfere with the course of nature. It's horrifying but necessary. Antarctica: A Year on Ice will make you appreciate your own environment a little more. You can see the film on Curiosity Stream. And my discovery of the week is Abhimaan on Voot. Abhimaan is a 1973 film directed by Hrishikesh Mukherjee and starring Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan. She's credited here as Jaya Bhaduri. They play Subir and Oma. He's a famous singer. She's a simple girl from a village who also sings. Subir falls in love with her, but their happy married life falls apart when she becomes more successful than him. The film is a compassionate portrait of the relationship between a man and a woman, and between an artist and art. It also gently skewers the fragile male ego. Both the leads are terrific, and S.D. Burman's soundtrack is sublime. This is Hindi film music at its finest. Do watch. That's all for this week. I'll be back with more recommendations next week on the Binge List. You can watch all these shows and movies with the Tata Sky Binge subscription. To know more, search for Tata Sky Binge or click on the link in the description below.